Hey, you guys, how's everybody doing? Today we're going to talk about the Hermetic Philosopher degrees. We had our Senate meeting a couple of days ago. So today I had talked with some of the members in regards to doing this particular video. Those who's at the meeting said, yeah, by all means, do the video. So today this video is going to basically deal with the Hermetic Philosopher degrees, which is part of the Sovereign Grand Sanctuary of the United States of America, its territories, independence. Um, Sovereign Bay is head of the philosopher degrees. So this is what we're going to get into. So when you see this, don't think that I've lost my mind. I'm actually a part of the Hermetic philosopher degrees. I actually have my 95th degree. I don't mind sharing that with anybody. Let me straighten this up. So, just to let you know, we had our meeting last night, but I talked to some of the brothers in regards to doing this degree work. So you can kind of see this is one of the this is the collar that we wear. However, there are many different colors to the collars. So, it just depends on which Senate you're a part of. I know there are Senates throughout the United States with different leadership, which they belong to. So today we're going to really get into the other side of Freemasonry, which are the Hermetics philosophy degrees. We're going to talk about I'm gonna talk about some things. I'm not necessarily gonna give you the degree that I'm talking about, but I'm gonna just dab into it a little bit because that's some of the things that, people often ask me, are those degrees for real? Yes, those degrees are for real. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I owed a few brothers who introduced me to this degree work, uh, just to say thank you. And one being Chris Jackson, who's a member of St. St. John's Grand Lodge out of Chicago, and Brother Raymond Edwards, who's another, and Weston Jarvis, and I'm not going to forget my brother Joseph Burris, who really spearheaded this ancient primitive rites. Um, so there's quite a few people who are involved with it. It doesn't really matter to me what Senate you're a part of or what Hermetic Senate you're a part of, but I just wanted to just share this with you just to let you know that these degrees do exist. A lot of times people don't like to talk about them because they don't know how to actually bring that up. I mean, because Masonry is broad, it's big, and this is just another branch of Freemasonry. And don't get it twisted. My Caucasian brothers know about these degrees, but they rarely talk about them. At least the ones that I'm around rarely talk about it. But they're there. And I kind of like that. I kind of like this color. But they're there. And when I first got into these particular degrees, brother Chris Jackson, what's up, brother Herbert Jackson? What's up, uh, brother Briggs? Um, you know, they, I didn't, they entered. I got this from brother Chris Jackson. I say that. He had the apron, the collar, and a couple of more. So he's like, brother Hawkins, if you need, and I was in need, the brother offered it up. I took it. I want to tell him thank you publicly, letting them know how much I appreciate it. So we're gonna get right into this. And if you have questions along the way in regards to this degree work, hit me up. Let me know. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do something a little different today. Something just a little different. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna give out my cell phone number. So if you got a question, I don't necessarily see it here, I'm gonna give you my cell phone number. You can hit me up, and we can actually talk about it and go from there. So if you want to call in, my cell phone number is going to be 619-985-1184. If you want to call in just for this particular live coverage, live show today, and you want to ask questions about it, you can do that, or you can text me. Either way, I'm going to make sure that we be able to really be able to have a good dynamic conversation in regards to these particular degrees. So we're going to dive right into it. And people often ask, what are these degrees? Well, these degrees deal with uh, really what I would consider, from my study, um, these degrees really deals with the I would say, philosophy of Freemasonry. It really deals with a real deep esoteric side of Freemasonry that most people who practice Freemasonry really don't indulge themselves in. You maybe heard me talk about this earlier, but they don't. But today I really want to dive into it just to share some information with you in regards to these particular degrees. So if you have questions, I don't mind you giving me a shout out. Once again, that number is 619-985-1184. This is just going to be during this time for this particular show. After that, you can lose the number. But definitely, we're going to get right into it. So, there are many different degrees within the Hermetic philosophers. We're talking about anything from the 40th to the 95th, 96th degree, which a lot of brothers here in the United States do have. And I would speak specifically in those in regards to the ancient, free, and accepted Masons. Quite a few Grand Lodges have begun to recognize these degrees as legitimate degrees. I would say in my jurisdiction, John G. Jones Grand Lodge of California, we do recognize these particular degrees as legitimate degrees, and they are offered to our membership. Now, you don't have to be part of a particular Grand Lodge in order to receive these degrees. You don't have to. You don't have to. And if you want more information on that, I will give you more information on that, and we can proceed from there. But like I said, you do not have to be part of a particular jurisdiction in order to receive these degrees. Now, everyone that has these degrees, they belong to different senates, different different sanctuaries. Like the sanctuary I'm part of is called the Sanctuary of the United States of America. That's the sanctuary for which I'm a part of. And the Senate is here in San Diego. And there's also a Senate in Los Angeles. And we definitely fellowship with those brothers there. And I would tell you this, Grandmaster Grandmaster Victor, who's the Grand Master for St. Anthony's Grand Lodge, is part of a Senate there. And we fellowship and we talk about the different degree works as far as this is concerned. So if you have any questions, please, like I said, give me a call, or you can put them here on the system and we'll see can we get right down into it. So this particular degree work, man, it gets awfully deep. And I'm just going to start sharing a little bit with you as far as what it is and what it's not, so you don't get crazy about it. I would say that if you're a 32nd degree also, that really begins to catapult you into this type of degree work if you are a 32nd degree Masons. And I say that because I would tell anybody that when you enter the philosophy degree work, you're going to be dealing with alchemy, you're going to be dealing with earth, wind, water. You're going to begin to see that from a whole different another ball game, and it's going to be one of them aha moments. I would say that because that's what it was for me, as myself, Brother Eric Sutton, who's also been on my videos, would tell you. It's one of those aha moments. Now Brother Sutton was already cut from a different cloth, so with that being said, that really brought a lot of things to light. Like, take for instance, let's look at the number 4. Let's just take for instance the number 4. The number 4 is by that which is an ancient people. It represents nature as the number of it is founded in time, space, the 4 cardinal points, the 4 seasons, the 4 elements, the gnostic claim to edify their secret science, responding upon the square of which the angles were seen or staged. So when you look at the square, those 4 points, those angles, that's, man, it gets so deep to a lot of times when we're even in the 3rd degree, we miss a lot of stuff. Even especially if you're a fellow craft Mason, you miss a lot of stuff. So when you begin to get down into that, it gets deep, and a lot of people really can't handle it, because if your faith, let me see how I want to put this. If you are a staunch person who believe in Christianity, Islam, Buddha, if you are that staunch, if you are just that into it, this is going to really mess you up. and I can actually say that if you're just that staunch, where you can't really bring anything else into your being, this is not going to be for you, because this is really going to open up a whole lot. This is going to open up in such a fashion to you're going to look at things differently than you ever looked at things. And I say that even for me, you know, that's what it's done for me, and I definitely know it would do it for a lot of other people who haven't even began to really get into that. So as I was saying in regards to the number 4, when you're dealing with the ancient customs and you're dealing with an ancient people, you need to really indulge yourself in that. And man, you'll be like, what are they teaching me in my lodge? Because these things are really prevalent in Freemasonry. It's just ideal if you choose to take that on, especially if you pick up you a Manly P. Hall, which I feel is really, that guy right there is definitely the guy that really set things on point for me, you know, especially even with some of the brothers in my lodge. So let's look at this. They say even the Egyptians considered it a symbol of life. So the number 4 is, they say even the Egyptians considered it a symbol of life, and that Plato, that the soul of the world was generated out of it. It represents the 7 elements and principles of nature: attraction, repulsive, calculation, light, heat, sound. It recalls the 7 planets, 7 celestial spheres, 7 primary colors, 7 hermetic tones, 7 days of the week, 7 periods of creation, and the 7 cosmetic representation of Egyptian, which revolves around itself into 8 in the soul of the world. Me reading that and you actually indulging in that is a whole nother thing. And that's what we really have to consider when you are accepting these degrees, when you're getting involved with these degrees, because they can take you someplace where you may not really want to go. But these degrees open you up to another paradigm or another entity into Freemasonry. It's these degrees are not really what you would say Freemason degrees, but they are attached. And they're attached through the membership who are part of your Grand Lodge or whatever. So, you know, you may have people in your jurisdiction may have the 95th degree or the 96th or the 43rd degree. The ideal is are they applying that into their Freemasonry works? Are they taking on these degree works? Manly P. Hall had me hanging. Yes, that is true. Manly P. Hall would do that for you. So definitely you need to take that into consideration, because these degrees deal in numbers, they deal in sounds, they deal in so much more. They deal in zodiac signs, and they deal in shucks, man, it's a lot. It's a lot, and I want to get as much to you as I possibly can, you know, because these degrees are really nothing to play with, you know. They are not. But if you take and actually practice these degrees as they should, they would definitely do a whole, man, they'll do a number on a lot of people. When a person turns 33 degree Mason, does that mean he's frozen? Well, if you are a 32nd degree Mason, that means that you are now just beginning to get unthawed. When you become a 33rd degree Mason, you should be unthawed. And I'm talking about degrees of one being frozen versus one being unfrozen. You know, I hope I'm kind of putting that right, because what happens is, even in your degree work, whether you're York Rite or Scottish Rite, most of us who receive those degrees, we get them, but we never really practice them. We actually get them and then we have them. Oh, I'm a 33rd, or I'm a 32nd, or I'm a 31st, without even picking up your books and indulging yourself in what these degrees are really teaching. We have them, but we don't really get into what they're teaching. As a matter of fact, I gave it away yesterday. God darn it. I have a complete series on what each degree teaches. And I can actually share that with you. But I believe I gave it I gave it away. And now I don't have it. Some things you shouldn't give away. I should have known I shouldn't have gave that away, but I gave it away. And now, since I'm in need of it, I don't have it. And that's the thing. I don't have it no more because I decided to give it away. I did. Now I don't have it. Now I don't have it. Ugh. But anyway, so let's just take a look at some of these because a lot of them deal in numbers. So in this degree work, you have north, you have the east, you have the west, and you have the south. You have all four directions prevalent. And you may ask, why do you have all four directions prevalent? Because all of them mean something. So in your Freemasonry, you don't have the north. It's dark over the north. But in this degree work, all four directions are very important. Hold on. Brother, all right, Brother Latroy, how you doing? As I said before, bruh, as always, you got to be respectful when you come on. And we're going to do that. And there'll be no calling names, no clandestine punches, none of that. You will be deleted from the page, period. So to anybody who's watching, your comments have to be respectful. If not, I'm going to delete your comments because that's not how I get down. That's not how the viewers get down. Okay, so we're going to move on. So as I was saying, in this degree work, all four directions are very important to the persons and individuals who are doing this degree work. It is important because then you will be unable to understand the cross, because the cross plays a very important part in the degree work or the Hermetic philosophy degrees. But if you are not familiar with the cross, then or the Ankh, especially the Ankh, it definitely. I'm actually asking him a general question. Oh, I respect that, brother. Yeah, you can ask him. I'm cool with that. So what happens is that when dang it. Okay, so all four directions really mean something in that degree work, and it really breaks down the unpronounceable name. So in Freemasonry, we say we're supposed to reverence the name of deity. All right. But in this degree work, you can't even pronounce the name of deity. It's spelled out. It gives you the name of deity, but you can't pronounce it. You can't. I mean, even last night when we had our Senate meeting, we was trying to understand how can you pronounce something that's impronounceable, even when it's spelled out in front of you. And in this case, you can't. This is what sets this degree work separately from your Scottish Rite, your York Rite, or the 3 degrees of Freemasonry. It sets itself apart. The idea that if you are a Mason and you belong to these York Rite and Scottish Rite, if you chose to go a little bit deeper into Masonry, this would definitely, I feel, help you to get a whole nother windmill of this. And in the process, what you're going to do, you're going to actually open yourself up. And I'm going to say you're going to open yourself up to some different learning, some things you didn't get in those previous degree works. You're not. Okay, I wonder what type of secrets when asking for the name of your lodge and grant. LaTroy, now look, you asked him a legitimate question, bruh. This forum here is open to Masons, non-Masons, female. It's just open, bruh. So asking somebody what lodge they're from, this is not the place. You might want to contact their brother through messaging or whatever. This is not that type of group. What we're trying to do here is just really just open up the framework for Freemasonry and just have a basic conversation, have some understanding, and really begin to build camaraderie with all Masons. This is not that group, bro, where you're going to get down and ask somebody what their lodge and jurisdiction is, because you have Masons and non-Masons on this page, and I know them because some of them have contacted me. So let's keep that at a bare minimum, bro. I hope that you respect that. No pun intended, okay? So just like in your okay, I appreciate that, Brother Troy, that you're not on that right now. I appreciate that. So just like this is the internet, and I don't know, but I respect you. Okay. All right. So just like in your other degree work, there are Q&As in this degree work. Whether you be from the 40th to the 95th, the 43rd, whatever degree you may have, there's Q&As in those degree works. Now, here's what gets me a lot of times. Even though there are individuals who may be inner apprentice, fellow craft, master mason, they may be Knights Templar, Knights of Kadash, Knights of the Malta, they may be the 31st, they may have the degrees of the Lodge of Perfection, Mark Map, all of those degrees. I guarantee you most of us who claim we have these degrees cannot even hold a decent conversation in regards to the degree work you have. Because a lot of times we don't apply ourselves with those degree works. And I would tell any Mason, when you have those degrees, please begin to like indulge yourself and become familiar with them. Just like this degree here, which I'm a 95th degree. However, for me to really indulge myself in the degree work, understand what I'm a part of, I must sometimes pick up a book. You must sometimes go to your sanctuary meetings, hold those meetings. Hold those meetings, and then you won't be so caught off guard when you're out speaking with people who may have these degrees. Because trust me, there are quite a few brothers who are members of the Ancient Free and Accepted Mason that have the degrees. And not only that, you have brothers who are of white lodges, Caucasian Masons. They have these degrees. They may not tell you, but they do. Now, do I know of any other Prince Hall brothers that have these degrees? Thornton Jackson is the only one that I know of that was Prince Hall that had the degree. And his degree was a 96. That's the only individual I know that was Prince Hall that had the degrees. Now, there may be some out there that has the degrees, but I may not know it. They may have them, but I may not know it. But Thornton Jackson is the only one that I personally have heard of, and I've read that he had the degrees. Now, the thing is that as I begin to go into these degree works, you're going to be dealing with a lot of stuff that you would normally talk about, and one being alchemy, one being wind, earth, those mystical points of Freemasonry that you usually would miss in your previous degrees, because we don't indulge them, we don't take them on, we miss them, and then when someone begin to talk to you in a mystical way, you don't know how to respond. Because even in your third degree, when you first enter that degree, it tells you that you are now entering the esoteric side of Freemasonry, because it's all about symbolism and allegories. It's all about symbolism and allegory, and once you're able to break that down, it gets so much deeper. Well, they're not considered recognized to you, LaTroy, but as you know, a lot of things that Prince Hall doesn't consider to be recognized, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So even though you may say that it's not recognized, it's not recognized by PHA, and PHA is not the end all. I'm just saying, Masonry I always say Masonry is bigger than where you at. And if you're limited in understanding that, that's your fault, Brother LaTroy. It's all good, bro. If you don't think the degrees are legitimate, that's your fault. Because I have two rituals that say different. This is one of them. And here's another ritual I have, and I think I've shared this before. Since you don't think the degrees are legitimate, just because you don't have the degrees don't mean they're not legitimate, bruh. Here's another ritual right here. So there are rituals out there, just like there are rituals for the degrees of Freemasonry. So I'm sorry, brother. The degrees are legit. You just don't have them, and that's okay. Okay, so you have the ritual books. That's fine, bro. So if you have the ritual books, then you should know yourself that the degrees are legit. So what degree are you, LaTroy? So let's have that conversation. He says, PHL, the brother needs to lift the veils from their eyes. Freemason, yeah. And you see, the thing is that we cannot put everybody in a box and say all of them. I can't do that. I've come to a place in my life to where that is not being truthful. I can't say all of Prince Hall. I can't say all of Black Ancient Free and Accepted Masons. I can't say all of mainstream Masons. I can't say that, but I can say some. I can say that because there are some out there that have the degrees and they won't share them with you. Period. They won't even talk about them with you unless they know that you are a part of a sovereign sanctuary. And that's the only way you're going to get to have that conversation. Yes, I don't have those degrees because PHA jurisdiction don't confer those degrees. And so if they don't confer them, you can't say that they're not real, LaTroy. You can't do that, man. The degrees are just as real as being initiated, passed, and raised. The ideal is until you have experienced that, they're non-existent to you. But I guarantee you that these degrees are just as legit as any other Masonic degree that you may receive. And there's a lot of different degrees out there. The ideal is those who are familiar with the degree work, man, search it out. Some of this stuff is like boogeyman. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's truth. You know, for someone to tell you, hey, you know what? No, bruh, some of this stuff is like boogeyman. Like, I ain't gonna touch that. I'm not gonna indulge with that. It's just that simple. So what I'm gonna do right now is just get off into some other stuff for you real quick, just to share some information with you. Okay, so even in the general principles, let's look at the general principles of the primitive rights. The principles. It is impossible. It has no limits on truth, and guarantees that this is liberty and all who follow the path. So in the primitive rights, there's no limit on the truth, because even in Freemasonry, it asks you what are you in search of. So we all say what we're in search of, right? But when you get into the primitive rights, there's no limit. It is just there's no limit. So you have to open yourself up to that and move forward. Oh yeah, LaTroy, I know Muslims can be a Freemason because I am one. By the blessings of God, I had to. Okay, all right. I was talking to brother. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh yeah, that last video I did, yeah. Oh man, I'm missing all this. I gotta go up. What's up, Eric Gorman? Goodman, I'm sorry, bro. 306 degrees of truth. Complete circle. Now, if you really want to get deep into that, you could take that circle, put a cross in it, and tell me how many 45 degrees angles you have in that. Then you can chop that up again and put 2 more crosses in that, and then you have what cross? Hear me clearly. If you take a complete circle, which is 306 degrees, you put a cross in it. Boom. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. After you have your 4 45-degree triangles, you take that again. You put a line right here and a line up top. What cross do you have? If you're a 33rd, you better come correct. I'm just saying. You know, the process is a lot of us don't even take that and apply it because we are so busy trying to prove somebody else wrong instead of trying to find out if they're right or not. You know, it is not my job as a Freemason to prove anybody wrong, because what I'm trying to do is really just get the information and knowledge that I have out to any and everybody. And I say that because there's a lot of misconceptions about what Freemasonry is, what it's not. There's a lot of stuff about Freemasons that we look at and we say, no, you're not recognized. I personally don't have time for that anymore. That's a deadbeat thing, man. That's over. But what I want to do is the information that I have, I'll share it. I share all that I have, because I can't take it with me. So let's go on with this here. Freemason reminds all its members to respect the laws of the country in which they live in and consider the obligation to work within the craft. Okay? Check that out. And then it goes on, it says, Masonry an association of independent men and women. Okay? Free of and in good moral, listening to the voices of their own consciousness, which compels them to put into practice the ideal of peace, love, and fraternism. Masonry has for its aim a moral and spiritual perfection of humanity, and for its means the progression of truth by the use of symbolic and esoteric forms, which can be revealed and explained only by the initiation. So unless you have been initiated into these degrees, they really mean nothing to you. Now, I know I have a lot of individuals on here who are not Masons, and they hit me up, how can they become a Mason and all that. But unless you get into this, man, unless you've been initiated into this this right here is like, to me, the cream of the crop. You know, you may have people out there with their 33rds, but if you run up on a brother who's really in tune with the primitive rites, he would just set you down and just have you just like, okay, I'm listening, okay, you know. And that's the difference to me in this particular degree work. See, brother said, damn, man, I ain't Freemason, but I am far from an idiot. I bet I can have a great conversation with you. Trust me. Well, that be the case. I'm always open for a great conversation, bruh. I'm always open for a great conversation. You know, that's what it's all about. Ooh, I'm a Mason. I was born one. Now, that's deep in itself. Everybody else don't see it that way. But if you... I mean, to each his own. I mean, I'm there. So let's go on. It says the objection of the application of the Mason fashion initiation by subjectors in all denominations and making them free of making them free. And when they say making them free, that means that you become an independent thinker. You're no longer relying on someone telling you third-hand information. I tell everybody, if you want to know something, go pick up a book and read it for yourself and stop depending on somebody else to feed you information. And this is what happens all the time, you know. Yeah, definitely is in the heart. And this is what happens all the time. People talk to other people who may be Masons or who may have gotten out, and they're disgruntled and they pick up and they read about the Illuminati and all that stuff. Unless you have been initiated in these degree rites, you have totally missed it, because everything else is really secondhand information. It's definitely secondhand information. And yes, Masonry has an influence throughout not only the United States, but throughout the world. Individually, not collectively. See, everybody thinks Freemasonry is just one huge fraternal order. It is not. It is broken up into many, many, many different pieces. Many, many different Grand Lodges. There's no one central Grand Lodge for Freemasonry, because everyone who's involved with Freemasonry is more than likely an independent thinker. They're their own individual. And if you believe that Freemasonry has this one central location, and you think that your Grand Lodge is just the it factor, no, your Grand Lodge is not just the it factor, because there are many different Grand Lodges throughout the United States, throughout the world. And no, there's no Mother Grand Lodge. People consider England to be the Mother Grand Lodge, and England has never proclaimed themselves to be the Mother Grand Lodge. And if they have, I haven't seen it in writing. I know that most of us proclaim that they are. Brother Tony, you got people in their feelings tonight. It's okay, bro. It's just the idea that I believe that all information should be shared information. In the process of people, though, in the progress of those who are really searching and really trying to figure this thing out. Oh, hold on a second. Somebody really called me on this. Hey, bruh. Say what? I'm live right now and you call me. Okay. All right, you do that. Okay, later. All right. So, but yeah, so we really have to understand and degree work. And yeah, there may be some people in their feelings, but that's okay too. In the Christian faith, why is there only 33 degrees question? In the Christian faith, I don't know if there's only 33 degree questions, because, you know, Christ died at 33. That whole thing is even mysterious. But I'll tell you this here. See, I'm going to share this with you. So when Christ, as told in Scripture, was a child, he taught in the temples, right? So as he began to mature, right? They said he went away for 40 days in the wilderness, right? What do you think took place in those 40 days in the wilderness, because you must understand that Christ's lineage is from Melchizedek, which is of the high priest. And during those times, they was initiated into the rites of the high priest. Yeah, those high priests they was initiated into that rite. The high priest was a rite. It was an initiation process. So even in scripture it tells you that Christ went away, and then when he came back, he was tempted. Okay? But what do you and how and what's your opinion about what happened to him when he went away? Now, the information I have, and I don't mind sharing it with you, that he got initiated. Yeah. Christ was initiated into the rites of priesthood. And then he came back. So, think about that for a minute. Okay, brother asked me, what do I think about women being Freemason in Europe? They have every right to be a Freemason. As a matter of fact, let the truth be told, women who are Freemason, women in Europe, they won't become Eastern Stars. There's no Eastern Stars over in Europe and overseas. And if there are, there are very few. They're all Freemasons over there. They have our passwords and signs. Yes, they do. They do. And trust me, bruh, they're no joke. Women Freemasons, they're no joke. They're practicing the craft on another level. If you ever have the opportunity to talk to a female Freemason, they practice the craft on a different level than the brothers do. Their initiation is slightly different than our initiation. But you have to have that conversation with them yourself. I definitely would say that. Jesus went to Egypt, continued his education, received the Christ degree. Okay, laughing out loud. All right. That's my granddaughter. She snuck up in behind me. Laughing out loud. Read the Aquarius Gospel of Jesus Christ. Jesus was doing the... Yes, he was. He was doing that type of work, Brother Terrell. You're absolutely positive. Now, can I help you? Let me finish, okay?
What are you doing?
Take your dog with you. See, this is what live Facebook. This is what live will do to you. You got your grandkids coming all up into your domain, man. They just mess you up. But anyway, love her to death. So in masonry, when you talk about females being masons, they don't. This is why the Grand Lodge of England doesn't even recognize Eastern Stars. They don't. But they allow female Freemasons to meet in their buildings. Think about that. They consider female Masons to be not clandestine, but irregular. Somebody help me with that. I'm just saying. I was taught only a man could be a Freemason because, as we know, as Freemasons, you were born with the Master's word. So how can the woman be a Master Mason? Where did you come from, bruh? You came from the womb of a woman. Come on now. So if you came from a womb of a woman, if you really want to get deep into Freemasonry, it will blow your mind. So when you consider women's being Freemasons, I don't have... Look, that's over in Europe. That's what they practice over in Europe. And I've had my own personal conversation with some female Freemasons. I'm okay with it. Now, whether they can visit my lodge or not, no, because that's in our Constitution. However, to have a conversation about the philosophy of Freemason, I would have that conversation with a female Mason in regards to the philosophies and teachings of Freemasons. I would. That's me. Yeah, the UGLE doesn't recognize the Shriners also, He only knows the false triology. Who only knows the... Oh. The truth, okay. Isis, Osiris, and Hugh. Yeah, I mean, you get down with that when you get into these. I'm going to tell you, brother, you touched on something. You get down with that in these degrees. You do. That's the degree work. You really begin to break down and get into Osiris, Hor, and some other things. Let me hold on just a second. I'm gonna flip through this real quick. I want to share this with you because I think it was important too. because the brother just opened up a whole nother window for me that I want to share. Let's see. I gotta flip through this. And to be truthful with you, um, all of these degrees are somehow connected. All of them. Don't get it twisted. All of these degrees are definitely connected. And if you notice that most of these degrees, if not all of them, have a Egypt connection, or may I say, an Egyptian connection. All of them. So in these degrees, bruh, in these degrees, you're gonna deal with Horus, you're gonna deal with Isis, and you're gonna deal with Osiris. In these degrees, that's yes. You in these degrees, you're gonna deal with, like I said, Osiris. You're gonna deal with I'm mispronouncing that word. Horus. Horus. I'm sorry. You're gonna deal with Horus, and you're gonna deal with that was one more. I just had it too. Osiris, Horus, and I just said it. I, Osiris, Horus. It'll come back to me later. It's three entities you deal with. And it's just like dealing in the Master Mason degree when you deal with Harmabith, Haramatari, and King Solomon. But in these degrees right here, it gets deeper. The real Trinity. Them priests behind the closed prayers. Yes. The real Trinity. I would definitely say that. And Brother Terrell, did you say you was a Mason, Brother Terrell? Talk to me, bro. Did you say you was a Mason or not? I'm gonna have to scroll back down because I don't know if you said that or not. Oh, okay. All right, I see a brother wrote, the evidence is still there and the lodges still stand. Okay. Oh, that brother got deep right there. All right. It is not religious, even though 33rd degree were not meant for everyone. The 33rd degree is not meant for everyone, but a lot of people sure pay for them. It's just simple as that. You know what? No, you're never going to be able to remember all the grips, all the signs, all the tokens. Do you remember all the passwords and such? I don't, but what I try to do is make myself familiarized with the degree work. So if a person wants to talk to me on a particular degree, it is not that I'm going to remember all of the signs, all of the passwords and all that, but I want to be familiarized with the degree work. Because even when I go to my York Rite meetings and my Scottish Rite meeting, we still have to break out books and make sure that we're doing things the right way because you're not going to remember it all, you know. But to familiarize yourself with it is the best thing you can do, in my opinion. Yeah, born a Mason, I'm a not initiated yet. Well, brother, I would tell you this. If you will be a great access to Freemasonry once you are initiated. I really believe that. And my hope is one day that you would take that on. Brother Eric Goodman, over 40,000 years old, huh? That degree from the Book of the Dead. Oh, yeah. The Book of the Dead, man, there's a lot I can say about the Book of the Dead, but I would prefer if people hear me say it, go get it for themselves and begin to read it. It may give them a whole nother perspective on their beliefs. I would say it again. It is in the heart. You're absolutely right. It is in the heart, but I would add to that is to become initiated in a degree work. So therefore, not only is it in your heart, now you have a better understanding of that which you already have. And you may say, well, how can you have a better understanding of that which he has? Well, just like a person who's a priest, you know, I can talk about being a priest, but I haven't been initiated a priest, so I wouldn't really understand all the details that goes into preparing oneself to be a priest. You know, hold on just a second. Come on, out. Had to close the door on that. Oh, okay, okay, yeah, yeah, all right, okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with them, no doubt about it. Brother Terrell. So back to back to what I was saying in regards to that. So when you began to get into the 95th, the fourth degree, and all of that, it's going to take you along the path of understanding zodiac signs and how they intertwine. And when we talk about Freemasonry and the moon, the stars, and all, we are in free. Don't we not talk about these things? We do. We do. But do a lot of us indulge ourselves to find out what it all means? Some of us do. I'm not familiar with the Book of Gates. I'm not. That's a new one. I got to put that in here. The Book of Gates. Can you order that particular book? I'm not familiar with that one. The Book of Gates. Everybody can learn something. So I had to put that one in there. The Book of Gates. Got it. The True Holies of Hollies. Okay. Yeah, Books of Gates. Books of Gates. Okay, got it. So it is my hope, as always, that I can enlighten someone. I can definitely show you another part of Freemasonry, to which a lot of times people don't necessarily get. Everything is together, from the Freemasons to our sisters in the Eastern Star. I just realized how we were learning about some of the women's in the Eastern Stars and the inter-apprentice degree. Oh yeah. The thing is, bro, all of this is connected. It is for us to put the dots together. So when you're talking about the Eastern Stars and those five herons of the order, even if you are part of the Nation of Islam, there are five herons even in the uh, even in the Torah, even in these various books, they speak of five herons. No matter how you look at it, the process is for us to take and connect the dots, and a lot of us can't do that. A lot of us can't connect the dots, but a lot of us can. And I'm hoping that, the information that you come across, that you will be able to share that. Oh, is that an egg? No, that's a beetle. That's a beetle, bro, with two wings on it. Once you get into this degree work, and you got to remember, this here is the all-seeing eye, okay? Back, up, front, and down below. But when you get into this degree work, you'll understand the beetle. The beetle. Look, as a matter of fact, if you know anything about no, like I said once again, it's a beetle. Okay, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe, definitely hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I certainly would appreciate it. But no, this is not an egg. It's a beetle. But it looks like an egg, but it's a beetle. Trust me on that. Trust me on that. And look at the beetle. Now, go if you ever have the opportunity, look at what the beetle, is to the Egyptians. Check that out. And if you really want to get down with it, you remember the movie The Mummy, where this guy, the mummy, he came back, and the beetles, they put the beetles in. They're beetles, but there was something else, and they ate his whole body up. They got inside of him and did all that stuff. Check that out. The beetle is something special to the Egyptians. Check it out, and I say that to anybody. I mean, if you're really gonna get into this thing, some of it's gonna be like a ooh moment. It really is, and that's what we definitely should consider when you are getting into Freemasonry, because I would say that if you're going to do it, be an independent thinker. Don't let somebody just give you information. You just take it for word. Go look it up for yourself. Go look it up for yourself, and then you'll be all right. Ah, shucks. Let me take another look at something. I would say in these particular degrees, you will find yourself trying to really get involved in understanding the Knights of Hermetic philosophy degrees. You have the Perfect Pontiff. Now, even on the Scottish Rite side, they have a Perfect Pontiff degree, and even on the even in the Hermetic degrees, they have a Perfect Pontiff degree, because all of these degrees are connected. And that's the thing I tell anybody. Just because you are in the United States and here they're saying there's only 33 degrees in Freemasonry, there's so much more. There is so much more. There are so many rituals out there on Freemasonry. It gets to be really time consuming. It gets to be, I don't know, I can't even find a word for it when you begin to really open yourself up and really begin to indulge yourself in the works. And even if you have a Scottish Rite Volume 1 and 2, even if you begin to indulge in that, and read the footnotes. If you have a Scottish Rite Volume 1 and 2, read the footnotes. That would be your connection to these degrees, in my opinion. Wow, I didn't even see all this down here. The Dong Beetle. Ah, yes, Brother Terrell. Boy, I can't wait till you join New Jerusalem Grand Lodge. Boy, I tell you the truth, we're going to really have a conversation. They say you're not a master mason until you have entered the red house. That is true. If you are a master mason, your degree work, I'm going to be honest with you, your degree work isn't complete until you become a Royal Archmason. It is because of the way the system is set up. The system of Freemasonry, for which many of us practice here in the United States, is a European style of Freemasonry, which separates the Royal Arch from the Master Mason degree. But you're not a Master Mason until you have received your Royal Arch degree work. That's the truth. And if you are a Mason, you should already know that. Yes, the Royal Arch Mason is very special. The footnotes are esoteric keys. Boom! There you go. The footnotes are esoteric keys. Everybody can't handle the footnotes. Everybody can't deal with footnotes. The Purple Book, Volume 1 and 2. I got it through okay. The Purple Book. See, man, y'all throwing these books out at me. I got to write these books down. So I got the Book of the Gates, and now you're talking about the Purple Books. Thank you for sharing. Purple Book. Okay. The Purple Books. Oh, yeah, I appreciate that. So if there are other books out there you think I should have and that you may have and want to share, please share the books. I mean, this is how we're going to get the information in regards to in regards to Freemasonry, because there are so many books out there that are a good read until we tend to forget them. I have an Inner Apprentice book, and it strictly deals with Inner Apprentice on an esoteric level. And it's a great book. As a matter of fact, I'm going to share it with you. This book right here, this only deals with the Inner Apprentice, and this is number one. There's a series in these books, and it's called the Masonic Handbook series by J.S.M. Ward of Massachusetts. And this book right here deals strictly with the Inner Apprentice, and it's deep. And let me tell you, now it may say J.S.M. Ward from Massachusetts, right? M.A. But the book is only printed in Germany. The book is only printed in Germany. You may be able to find it here, which I hope that some of us may be able to kind of go and look it up. But it's the EA book only. Okay, so the brother wrote down, I already have the book. I just said that for the non-Masons so they don't pick up. Oh, got you. Okay. Remember, Christ means of the spirit and not of the name. It's the K.A. Brother breaking it down tonight. The meaning of Mason by Okay, W.L. Wimhurst. Okay, okay. But yeah, so certainly, this book right here, man, it deals strictly with the esoteric side of Freemasonry, and it's strictly for inner apprentices. And I like it, you know, but you can't just throw that on everybody, you know, especially those inner apprentices who are just coming into Freemasonry. Some of this stuff you just can't give them. You know, you may like, yeah, bro, you got to read it, but some of this stuff just isn't for them. You know, as we know, Freemasonry is not for everybody. Everybody is not going to be able to grab hold of it and get it for themselves. So we really have to consider when people are coming into Freemasonry, uh, who are there, their background, the whole thing, because they're not everybody's not going to be able to capture the essence of Freemasonry. And look, I got about 5 more minutes to go. If anybody have any questions, they want to give me a call, go right ahead. Oxygen was bringing up Christianity, so I had to go into the K. Oh, I tell you, one day we all gonna have a good time and have a great conversation. Brother said after Manly P. Hall, I needed a night light and a blanket. I'm telling you, man, some of this, yeah, yeah. After Manly P. Hall, I think a lot of brothers probably needed a night blanket, you know. But this is the thing that most Masons don't get into. This is why most people, oh, it's the boogeyman, it's this and it's that. I would say, hey, get yourself a night light and a blanket, pop open one of them books, and begin to indulge yourself in it. And yeah, if you're ready, great. If you're not ready, don't do it. I'll start off slow. I would tell any Mason, when you begin your journey as an enter apprentice, start off slow. To jump right off into this and you haven't been exposed to it beforehand would do yourself a disservice in Freemasonry. It would, yeah, you will be. It is not good. But if you're going to get into the ancient primitive rites of Freemason, which deals with those ancient customs which come out of Africa, definitely do that if that's something you want to do. And to my Prince Hall brothers, you asked me the question, was this something that Prince Hall Grand Lodges recognize? As far as I know, Prince Hall Grand Lodges do not recognize the primitive rites. But if you want those degrees, there's nothing saying that you can't have them. There's nothing saying that you can't have them. Even if your Grand Lodge don't recognize the degree work, there's nothing saying that you can't have them. It's totally up to you. Let's see. In all honesty, you won't realize the innocence of the degree until you put on a degree, because when you are going through it, you are not truly interested in everything that is happening. That is true. That is so true. Why would the UGLE decline? Oh, why would the ULG declare that there is no spirituality in Freemasonry? That's exactly what Freemasonry is all about. Well, bro, you have to ask the UGLE about that. I could not tell you why they declined to even speak on that. Okay, Brother Tony, you have to do more live PHA stand up. Bruh, I try to, what I try to do as far as the live videos are concerned, I try to do one video a week. I don't want to bore people. I want to try to come up with information, look into my library, bring out information, and share it. That's what I want to do. I was taught to always keep a brother on the first degree. At first, I don't understand, but now, being a Mason, I see the first degree is deep. Some people can get trapped in it. They can. Really, a lot of brothers get trapped on that first degree. A lot of brothers get trapped in the fellowcraft degree. I mean, if once you come out of being initiated into the apprentice degree, you get into that fellowcraft degree, a lot of brothers get caught up in that degree because that degree deals with all the symbolisms of Freemasonry. And then when you go into the Master Mason degree, you receive that extra stuff. But even in the fellowcraft degree, you can get caught up. Oh, okay. I appreciate that, brother Gabriel. I appreciate that. Freemasonry is using your imagination to picture the lessons in your mind to manifest it into reality. But a lot of people ain't ready for that though. A lot of people is not ready to take that which they speak and make it exist. This is some of the same thing that Christ was saying. When Christ was speaking, he said the things that you see me do, you will be able to do also, or even more. But a lot of people don't apply because the first thing most of us say is that you can't be perfect. Who told you that you can't be perfect? And I don't get it, because even the scriptures tells you to be ye perfect because I am perfect in my Father. So who told you that you can't be perfect? If you tell me that you are Christ-like, okay, that you are of the high priest, why can't you be perfect? Why can't you practice being perfect? But a lot of times we get so caught up when we make a mistake. Oh, I ain't perfect. No, who taught you that? You know, that's the thing we need to get back into, is practicing being perfect in that which we are. You know, we're people, we are human beings, we're part of only one race, really, and that's the human race. However, because my melon, I love it too, because my melon, you know, have me, you know, looking at it from a different perspective, we have to take that and really engage ourselves in who we are. You know, I mean, my DNA, speaking of DNA, bruh, if you really get deep into that thing we call DNA and break that off into masonry, it will, yeah, it does that to you. You know, when you begin to really break that thing down. One quick question before you go. What do you know about the Masonic? Okay, what do you know about the Masonic turtles, garroterie, and the tail? Okay, the tarot cards. Okay, now the turtles. I've heard of the turtles. I don't really do the turtles because they like to turn up. You know, bloop bloop. You turtles. You brothers who are part of the turtles, you know, you guys like to do something a little different. I'm not really into the turtles. I haven't really indulged myself in looking into becoming a turtle. But I do know that many Freemasons are turtles. But what I have done is looked at receiving my degree as a snake degree, which you can only receive in the deserts. So I'm looking at doing that degree work. I don't know if you heard of that. The gardery. I know that a lot of the state grand lodges have that. The tall cedars, I'm familiar with that degree work too, but I'm not initiated into any of that. I'm not, but I've have books on it, but I'm not initiated into it. It was a pleasure to sit and to build with you, brothers. Out of respect, I will share my name. Oh, okay. So, you know, we have to. As I was going back, just reading off some of the posts here before I go. One day, you know, it is my goal during my travels that I will be able to meet some of you. Uh, and who knows? You know, I'm here on the west. You know, where the sun is still at its meridian height and the glory and the beauty of the day. So, you know, I know on the East Coast it's beginning to go down a little bit, but it is my hope one day that I will be able to travel and to actually visit with those who have actually had the chance to call your name out on my on this channel here. And please, you know, by all means, subscribe, hit like. If you have questions or anything in that like that while we're online, hey, I gave my number out. It's only used for when I'm online, so do that. Yeah, you know, hey, I try to as much as I can, you know, to any of the brothers out there. I try to definitely. I want to let you know I respect any brother that come up to me and that knows me and have had a conversation with me personally. I respect all Masons. Some brothers say, you know, how can you do that? Because I'm a respective of men first. And if you are a Mason, a man's son, I'm gonna respect that. You know, whether I can visit your lodge or not, But just the idea that that's what you're practicing, that's what you're all about, I'm gonna respect that, and I appreciate that. Oh yeah, I heard of that. That's right, brother. I call myself a student Freemasonry. Yeah, we brothers in California, the state that don't never. No, I don't rain in Southern California. Oh my God, I don't think it's rained here in months. For real. Brother Marcus SD Hercules Lodge, number 17, D1, Seattle, Washington. All right, most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge. All right, well, welcome aboard, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you. Big shout out to you. Um, and like I've said before, this page is not about who's who, but it's all about information. It's all about sharing knowledge. It's all about really showing what Freemasonry is to those uninitiated in the craft, and to really build bridges. And as Brother Rock once said, he wants to blow the whole damn bridge up. And I understand what he meant by that. So to Brother Rock 101, I appreciate you. You know who you are. I appreciate you. You heard it out of my mouth. PHA, where y'all at laughing out loud? There you go. I judge your brother Mason by his character, not by his affiliation. And that's the way it should be. Really. I want to quote some things, but I can't quote it because then, it's a whole, we swore that some things we wouldn't do. So I'm not going to quote that, as a Mason until I found, him or them, you know. There you go, right there. For those of you who understood the few words that I just put out there, yeah, I mean, that's how we should be. That is exactly how we should be. So I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. I've been on here for about 106, and I don't want to bore you, but you know what? If you are interested more about this degree work, you can hit me up. I left my phone number on here. Text me first. I do have a job. I don't want to be trying to answer phone calls and stuff. So yeah, just hit me up and we'll definitely get down and I'll pass that information. Even the Scottish Rite Academy, okay, is Ancient Accepted Scottish Rite SR, aka Osiris, or craft hidden from most of us in plain sight. Bro, y'all come deep sometime. I tell you, I appreciate that. If I call you, brother, will I be tried? I hope. I won't be denied. Hey, if you call me, we're going to have the conversation, bro. That's all. We're going to have the conversation, okay? I left my number on here. I'm still going to be up for the remainder of the day. So if you hit me up, text me, let me know you're calling me. And we can definitely talk. Once again, I'm going to be up for a little while. So if you want to hit me up, my number is 619-985-1184 just for the day. Just give me a call. So until we meet again, as always, keep your light on and stay out the bushes. I'm out.